What's up? What's up? What's up? Rick Paulton. Ryan Inman. Live and direct. And we have our guest already in the waiting room here. We're going to go ahead and bring him on. We got Hal Havins from Niht Demons, among many other things.
Man, that's a great opening you guys have.
Yeah, everybody digs it. My friend made that. I have no idea. I can barely turn on a computer. So
yeah, well, you got a good friend then.
Yeah, he did a real good job with that. The music is actually another friend of mine, Jeff Hatrix, formerly of a band called Mushroom Head. They had some national notoriety. They were in they did like a song of the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack, Game of Thrones, some stuff like that. So cool. That's him on the vocals there. Right.
Well,
so how you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm here. I'm doing good.
Thanks
good for having me.
Right on. Definitely. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. It's an honor to have you on.
Well,
got our
might
first
be a
comedy.
Slight exaggeration.
Right on. I just finished watching. What did I finish watching?
I had to do my gimmick.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, I just I was listening at work. My real job is I work like 8 jobs because I have like 20 kids.
He does.
Really 4 jobs and 4 kids, but
well, whose fault is that?
Yeah, I know, right? So I was listening to some other podcasts that you had done, and I was listening about what was the movie? Sorority Girls. I wrote the name down because I knew I'd screw it up.
Slimeball Bullerama.
Slimeball Bullerama. This is such a long name. It's awesome, but it's like
it is.
But it was originally called The Imp. But
yes, it was.
Yeah, I just finished watching that like right before you came on. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm glad I got to see that.
And, it's kind of a fun thing, yeah.
Yeah, I like 80s B horror kind of stuff.
80s schlock horror?
Yeah, I'm really into
that was the thing in the 80s. I mean, everybody wanted that comedy horror, that schlock kind of fun, you know? So, why not? As long as they're paying for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a whore like that. I admit it.
Right on.
Work, man.
No doubt.
Exactly, right? I always say, how do you know it was a good job? The check cleared. Yeah. Boom. That's it.
Well, like,
because they're all fun. I mean, let's face it. It doesn't matter what you do. You love doing it.
Hell yeah.
They're all great. You just, if you get paid well, then it's even better.
Somebody else said the exact same thing. Was that Bob Elmore said the exact same thing?
It was Bob Elmore.
Almost word for word.
Yeah.
He's a wise and long-bearded man.
Yes, yeah, Bob's awesome. We're really looking forward to Ohio Terracon, where we're going to meet you in person, and all kinds of Bob Elmore's going to be there. Night of the Demons, Toxic Avenger. We're really excited about that because in Cleveland we don't usually have a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big show. What is it? August 16th and 17th.
Right. That's assuming that I wrote it down in here, right?
So is Strongville close to you guys or what?
I'm 6 minutes away.
Yeah. Oh well, shoot, it's right there. Then it might as well be Cleveland.
Yeah, it might as well be Cleveland. Yeah, because I'm in Cleveland proper. He stays down in Stowe, Ohio, so it's a little further for him. But he actually was living a lot closer to it. A couple.
I was
Seriously?
living.
You're one of those Stowville people. What the? You didn't tell me this was going to happen. I don't know what Stowville is, but you said it with such venom. He's from Stowville.
Stowe, Ohio. But yes,
sorry, what did you say?
It's probably vile
too.
too.
What the fuck you saying? I'm sorry.
So, what made you want to get into acting? How did you know you wanted to get into it?
We still don't know where this guy is from.
Stowe, Ohio.
Stowe.
I don't know what else is from there.
That's not even a whole word.
Yeah, he's actually from like Florida, Apopka, Florida.
Well, Florida.
But he lives in Stowe.
You're a Florida man, are you?
They say Floridian, but after you've been there long enough, it's Floridiot. So
Floridiot.
That's what I was.
All right, good job.
But I got out of there a long time ago. So
yeah,
it was still the 1990s when I left Florida.
So you went from hot and muggy to cold and snowy.
Yeah,
good move.
Maybe I need to split the difference and live in North Carolina or something.
I did the same thing one year when I was a kid. I did construction for a while when I was really young. I was doing construction in the Palm Springs in the summer. So it's like 120, maybe more inside the buildings we're working on. And then I moved up to Big Bear in the winter. And there's 4 feet of snow on the ground. I didn't stop bitching for 3 months.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's all I did was complain.
The last summer I lived in Florida, I was still in my teens. I took a job as an apprentice for a carpet layer, and a lot of these buildings didn't even have AC yet because they were new.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh man, that sucked.
That's rough. That's a rough job, carpet laying, man. I did that for when I was in my construction phase. I did that for like 3 days.
Yeah.
But the guy I worked for was an incredible drunk, and he would never show up
Yeah.
where he was supposed to show up. So I finally just said, fuck it, I quit.
Yeah, you'll have that with a lot of those contractors.
See, we have one thing in common, but not the other. The one I worked for was an incredible drunk too, but he did always show up, unfortunately.
Oh, that could be worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, because you had to make sure he wasn't screwing up, and he was the boss. So
that's funny.
I was just a teenager hammering in tack strip in them sweaty buildings all day.
Yeah.
So,
You know, when you're young, you can do that shit.
yeah, oh yeah, I couldn't do it now.
Nah. At some point, you get old bones.
Yes, sir.
Plus, you know, I
All
like
right.
having knees.
What?
I like having knees.
Yes. No carpet layer has knees past the age of 30.
No.
You know, that's there should be a better. You know, those stretcher bars, the ones that go across the room.
Yeah.
They don't really work, but they're
No.
better than slamming your knee.
Technology's come a long way in many aspects, not really in carpet laying.
There hasn't been many carpet laying innovations.
We need an AI knee. We need a little one of those little drones that'll go out there and just pound at it. Anyway, I don't know
Get
what
some
we're
kid,
talking about.
get some kid to 3D print us some knees. You know.
We got St. John's, Michigan, Jason in the house. He goes, "What's
There he
up?"
is.
What's
Hey,
the
hey
thing,
Rob, are you
gentlemen?
going to be at Ohio Terracon on August 16th and 17th?
You better be.
You better be. They're doing a costume contest. You could be the 6 or 7 time winner.
Dude wins all the costume.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a cosplayer. He goes to a lot of these cons, and he's racked up a bunch of trophies.
There's some
It's really
incredible
good, dude.
cosplayers out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they get really into it. I've done it a couple times, but
Huh?
I said I've done it a couple times, but I don't get as into it as some of these guys. Like I might be in the costume at Ohio Terracon, but then I'm doing a whole lot of stuff there, so I might not be because we're doing a live version of this podcast. I have no idea what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do that. He has an idea what's going on.
Well, I'll stop by and say hey.
Yeah, cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. I've never been to Ohio. It'd be nice to see it. I hope there's time to sneak out and go see the museum.
Oh, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Exactly.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, it's
Not too
sweet.
far. Not
If
too
you're
far.
from Ohio, it's free. Or if you're from Cleveland, not if you're from Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, if you're from Cleveland, you can get in for free.
Then you're gonna have to slip me an electric bill so I can go in there and say, yeah, this is where I'm from.
When do you get in?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. If you get
I don't
in
book
on
flights.
Thursday and it's early enough, I'll pick you up and take you down there.
Wait, what?
I said if you're getting in on Thursday, the day before the con, and it's early enough, I'll take you down to the museum.
You're breaking up, but
All right, I'll try.
robot noises. Are you the new carpet drone? What the hell's going on?
Now, I was saying if you get in on Thursday and you get in early enough, I'll pick you up and take you down to the Rock Hall.
Oh, well, there you go. Then I will. I don't know if a ticket's been bought or not yet, but I will.
Yeah,
I will
didn't
mention
know
that.
So,
that would be cool.
yeah. So, again, what made you want to get into acting? How did that start?
Oh, I thought you let that go because it was like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I got questions.
What made me? I don't know. I always wanted to. It's just like it was a thing. I've told this story a couple times. When I was little, before I went to school, my mom would watch, soap operas in the daytime and talk shows. And back then, all the talk shows would have stand-up comics on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would watch these soap operas and stand-ups, and I would memorize either a scene or a piece of the stand-up act, and I'd run into the bathroom and I'd reenact it.
Nice.
And I would look into the mirror, but the thing was, I was too young. I was too small to see in the mirror. I could barely see above the countertop, And I don't know how long I did this, but I still remember vividly the day that I was tall enough. I grew tall enough that I could see the top of my hair in the bottom of the mirror. And I was like, I did it. I'm finally there. Still took another
awesome.
6 months to actually see myself in the mirror. But
Right on.
anyway, yeah, I always wanted to do it. It was just something that, I always wanted.
Now, did you grow up in LA or?
No, I grew up outside of LA in a little town called Rialto, a little agricultural community.
Right
and
on.
It's in San Bernardino County. So it's about an hour and a half east of Los Angeles.
Right on. So West Coast guy. Yeah.
Southern California, born and bred. Sorry, what?
Almost everybody else we've had is from New York. And then Ryan usually talks to him about New York City for a while.
Yeah. I've been through New York a few times. I've never stayed though. I've just like stopped and had lunch, but I never like stayed there for any length of time. Just ride through on the subway from the airport across town to what's the big sports arena named after a guy?
Madison Square Garden.
What? No, it's named after a person.
Oh, named after a person.
It's all glass. It's really big. If I said it, you'd know what I was talking about. Anyway, it's at the far end of the train. So when you get on the subway at the airport, it takes you all the way across New York, and it's like there's one more stop after that, like something yards. I don't know what it's called.
Right on.
I shouldn't be talking about this. I don't fucking know anything about New York. I don't even know why I brought it up. You brought it up.
It's all my fault.
What's wrong with you?
So, growing up, what actors inspired you? Like,
it's so weird because it could be anybody. You know, I mean, growing up when I was young, we had, because it was TV and everything was reruns back then. So I had James Dean and Marlon Brando and Laurence Olivier and all these just world class actors. And so they were all inspiring. I think the first one I attached to was probably James Dean because he was so intense, and I like that. When you're young, you like that feeling of intensity. But as I matured, there's an actor that most people don't know who he is, but he was like my aha moment when I was learning. I'd been studying for like 2 years at the time, and I was still kind of finding my way. And I saw Steve Railsback in Helter Skelter.
Right on.
And that was it. I understood it all right then. It all became clear. Everything I was trying to do. And that guy was my hero for the longest time. And my wife ended up in later years representing him as an agent. And the one guy she never let me meet.
That's crazy.
Wicked woman. But yeah, I was a big fan of his. I didn't even know what it was. I turned it on. If you've ever seen Helter Skelter, it's the Manson story.
Yeah.
And he does Manson's testimony in court, word for word. And it is one of the most amazing things you've ever seen on film. It is just brilliant.
Yeah, we have to check that out.
Like I said, I just got it. I saw the roadmap that I'd been trying to build the whole time. And I went to school the next day and I was like, what is this thing? I had no idea what it was. I just turned on TV. It was there. And somebody said, oh, that's got to be Helter Skelter. So I found the book that it came from is Stephen Bugliosi, I think. It was the prosecutor.
Right on. And
it's in there. That speech was in there verbatim. And I used to do it as a dramatic monologue, and I won everything with it. He cleaned up. But Manson's writing your lyric, your dialogue. How can you lose? If you want to get crazy, get a crazy guy to write it.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a song that Guns N' Roses covered that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Actually, he was not a horrible musician.
Yeah.
He wrote some okay stuff. That's how he got kind of involved in Hollywood. People were legitimately interested in buying some of his songs, but he was just so fucking crazy. Nobody could.
He thought he was a lot better than he was too.
Huh?
As far as musically, he thought he was a lot better than he was.
He thought he was a lot better, but I was saying he wasn't crap. He actually wrote stuff that people were interested in hearing. They just wanted to hear it from somebody who had more talent.
Yeah, it's with a lot of songwriters though. Like Dylan's songs are always better by other people.
Yes, but it was kind of like the thing with Fidel Castro. If he had had a better curveball, none of that would have ever happened. He'd have been in New York pitching. So history's a funny thing, man. You turn left when you could have turned right.
You never know the butterfly effect for sure.
Yeah. Exactly right.
So, were you always a horror fan growing up? And if
I was when I was young, yeah. You know, I mean,
what was like the first horror thing you got into?
I don't know what it's called. I cannot tell you. I'm sure somebody knows. It's either The House on Haunted Hill or The Legend of Hull House. I don't know which it is. I believe it was the one with Roddy McDowall in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an effect in the film where a room grew like the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
It like raised up. And that just scared the shit out of me when I was little. I mean, it literally terrified me. And of course, like I said, when I was young, everything was reruns. So we watched that film 3 or 4 times. And every time I would just leave shaking. And I think Roddy McDowall was the star. I'm not sure. But that was the first horror film that I went nuts for. But yeah, we watched a lot of horror. Especially my brother was a big horror fan.
The other thing you said was a documentary about your film. So that's not good.
Oh, don't ask me about what I say. I lie all the time. I know what I say. No, I'm sorry. What was it?
You said like The Legend of Hull House or whatever. That was like a documentary about your film, I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, but there was a film. I mean, Hull House is a very famous horror trope. You know, every other
okay.
horror
But
house
there was a documentary named that. What you said too, though, it was about that movie.
Was it called The Legend of Hull House? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Was I in it?
I don't know. That's probably why I know it.
I don't know either.
So, yeah, you probably were. I'll let you know in a second. Legend of
I
Hell
see crap
House.
all the time. You know, I'm like,
The Legend
hey,
of Hell House.
That looks like me. What?
Was the Roddy McDowall film was Legend of Hell House.
Yeah, okay, Legend of Hell House. That was it.
And then I think there was a movie called Legend of Hull House, which was a documentary about Night of the Demons.
Oh, well, okay.
But I could
Why
be
don't
wrong.
you just finish amongst yourselves, talk amongst yourselves. I'll sit here and have some more water.
Right on.
I'll join you in that.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't know. I did love that film though, The Legend of Hell House. Now I'm gonna have to look it up and see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out myself. That Roddy McDowall, he was in Fright Night.
It's
Peter Vincent.
You're not even human. You're like one of those AI things. You just turn robot.
Rick does, yeah. He has a tendency to do that.
Oh wow, have you completely frozen?
Am I frozen?
Oh, now you're back. There you go.
Oh, okay. I don't know,
creepy.
Cleveland internet, man. I don't know.
You're like frozen and all mechanical, and then all of a sudden you go, "Am I frozen? I don't know. Are you?"
I'm not real. That's what it is.
See,
I'm like Max Headroom from the 80s.
He was bagging on me for being in Stowe, but at least my internet works.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Well, I got this new Apple computer, and I got a
sure, wink, wink. Apple doesn't work. Wink, wink.
Well, you know, I got a line to run straight to the router, but this doesn't even have an Ethernet port on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, somebody's dogs are killing somebody.
Whose dogs?
Oh, it's got to be his if it ain't mine. Well, the dogs that live in his house, not his dog.
That was like a big dog.
It sounds like it.
Labrador.
Kind of yippy.
So, of your many credits that you've done, which film or show was the most fun to make?
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
No, there are. I mean, that's like, it's not a cop-out, really. It's just true. I want to work. I like working.
Hell yeah.
I like being on the set. I like making product. I love the environment. I love the people that do it. There's nothing. I've only been on one set in my entire career, which is like, 40 some odd years now. I've only been on one set that was horrible. One.
Yeah.
I will never say what it is publicly.
I figured you were going to say that.
But it was a misery.
I'm like, are we going to get a scoop?
It was hell. And no, because it was so bad, I'll never say. You know what I mean? It's like, literally, it was either the key grip or the gaffer. I was thinking about this morning. I was remembering it. He was either the key grip or the gaffer, and he was running around, and every couple hours, he was giving a countdown of when he was going to leave. He would literally yell, 2 weeks, 17 and 1/2 hours, I will be leaving this shit show. And like every hour and a half, he would just shout it out. And I was like, that's how bad people hated this set. It was a misery, man. I was there for like 8 hours, 9 hours, and I was ready to get out of there. It's the only job I ever had that I was like, man, I wish I could stay here more. No, not that one. I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Well, one of my favorite movies you made was Life with Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was you in that until I was looking at your credits, and as soon as I seen Billy, I'm like, oh, I know which scene he was in.
Yeah, well, it was brief, yeah, but that was like one of the hardest jobs I ever had because I was huge fans of both of those guys.
Oh, of course.
And Martin Lawrence has the ability to make you laugh when he turns. He's like a girl that can turn on sexy. He can turn on funny.
Yeah.
And when he turns it on, you just start giggling. There's nothing you can do about it. He's just funny. And so the whole time, I wasn't even really working. It was almost always in the back of my mind, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. Just get through the fucking scene and don't laugh. They were both so hysterically funny. And, I mean, they were really standing still. They weren't even trying. And Eddie Murphy.
Two of the greatest of all time. I mean.
Yeah, really, for sure.
I mean,
and Eddie Murphy, well, what a technician this guy is. I mean, he is really a true filmmaker. He walked in, we did the blocking. And he kind of shook his head and he goes, no, this isn't working. And all we did was blocking. He didn't even participate in the scene. He just watched. And he takes his pages and he goes and sits down because there's a little diner. And he goes and sits at one of the tables. And they're like, all right, everybody out. So we leave. About 30 minutes later, they call us back in. He had rewritten the scene and it was incredible. Everything about it was incredible. The blocking was better. The timing was better. Everything. And he made there were small changes, but they were really precise. And it's like, the guy is just an incredible filmmaker. And I love like I said, I love this craft. I love this art. And when you see somebody do anything great, anything at a professional, I mean, like extraordinary level,
right?
It's exciting to see. It's really cool to see. So yeah, I loved my brief time there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, if I was a little more technologically advanced, I was going to have your scene so I could play it real quick because it's only like 2 minutes, but it's like some of the funniest shit.
Yeah, well, just rub it in. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know how to do that stuff.
Put a little salt on that wound, would you? No, but that's like my point I was making earlier. That's one of those things you wish you could have been there all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
I would have stayed there and done craft service for him just to watch.
Sure.
Awesome. So it's good to know that Eddie Murphy's film was not the film you were speaking of.
No. I mean, that guy, I'm telling you, he blew me away. I go in there, he's a Saturday Night Live comic, he's very funny, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And he's not. He knows his business, and he knows it well. And, of course, by that time, what was that? Probably his 30th film,
Yeah, he'd been around for a long time.
Yeah, you're going to pick it up sooner or later, but to pick it up at the level with the precision he has, it was really incredible. It was fantastic. I was only there one day. It was fantastic, though.
That was towards the end of him making, like, adult movies too, because then he did nothing but kids movies. It felt like
Nutty Professor and all that.
Well, everybody has to make money.
Yeah. Well, Nutty Professor was before that.
What?
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So Nutty Professor was good. Yeah. That wasn't really a kid's film. That was good. But yeah, the family, market is a good market.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably a lot of reasons he moved into that market. But
but it's cool. He's back to doing whatever he wants again now. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't got a giant deal at Netflix. That's why.
I haven't seen the new Beverly Hills Cop yet, but I'm going to soon. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that actually, because I love the Beverly Hills Cop. I heard both of them were great. Did I just say Beverly Hills Cop?
Sounded like you did, but I was going to let it roll.
Wow.
And I love that.
That was a little Freudian.
I love that.
No, all I can see is you take that banana. I hope you remember that part of the movie. It was in the movie.
Yeah, with wasn't that Damon Wayans?
Huh?
Yeah.
I love that banana.
Yeah, and I love awesome. That you. I love that you said you love both of them. Like we all try to erase that third one.
Huh?
Because there were 3 of them.
Yes, there were. Yeah. I'll go ahead.
Now there's 4.
Like the third one too. Look, I love the third Godfather, so leave me alone.
Ooh.
I like it. I like
it. You
do?
Like it.
I don't love it, but I like
anything. I like anything Francis Ford Coppola ever touched.
He's got a new movie coming out.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I seen when I went to see Longlegs. It was one of the previews.
Yeah, hopefully I hope he has a deal now. Apparently there was a struggle to get a distribution deal.
Right. But, yeah, there was definitely a trailer for something he was doing. It looked interesting. I can't remember anything else about it.
Megalopolis or Metropolis.
Yeah, that's it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And if it's by him, at least it's going to be great story and it's going to have great imagery.
You think it was a coincidence that it was the trailer was running in the front of his nephew's movie?
I don't know. Did a Nicolas Cage movie open it?
Yeah, it was a Nicolas Cage movie we went to see.
Oh, really?
And that was one of the trailers.
Oh,
yeah.
is Nicolas Cage in Long Legs?
Yeah.
He is long legs.
I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah, he's heavily made up in everything.
He's a pretty tall guy.
Yeah. He's heavily made up in the movie, so it's real hard to tell it's him, but it's pretty cool.
He produced it too. He was
did he?
Heavily involved in the making, yeah.
Oh, okay, very cool.
And it's the director is Anthony Perkins' son.
Yes, yeah, that I read.
That too. Oz Perkins, yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was.
I'm not completely buried in the 70s and 80s, only mostly.
I didn't know Anthony Perkins was his dad until later on, but I've seen that.
All right. Speaking of too many sequels, did you ever see the last Bates Motel? What the fuck is it?
Oh yeah, Psycho, the fourth one.
Did you ever see the last Psycho he did?
Yeah.
All right, there's a moment, and this is what I was talking about when I could be inspired by any actor doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They let him out of the mental hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes home and he picks up this woman, and she's got a birthday cake. Do you remember any of this?
Yeah.
All right. So she's got this birthday cake, and they go up to the house, and they're in the kitchen. And she says, well, we might as well eat the cake. Do you have a knife? And he says, well, I'm sorry, but I don't have any cutlery. Just a little stutter on cutlery. And you realize it's because they took all the knives out of the house when they took him. But the way he was so delicate with it, it's just like such a moment. And that's what gets me about actors. That's why I'll get hooked on an actor. I'll see something inside of their performance that they do, and then I have to watch everything. I become obsessed.
Psycho is my 11-year-old daughter's favorite movie of all time.
Oh, it's a great film.
And she's seen it first probably when she was like 8 or 9, and we watched all the sequels too. And
you let her see it when she was 8 or 9?
Oh yeah, I let her watch whatever. I don't care.
Would you let her see Demons when she was 10? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, probably. I think she did watch it with me.
Really?
Yeah, I think she did. She didn't like it though. But it's not her. She likes Exorcist, Psycho. That's the type of horror she likes. She don't like
Exorcist. Come on, that's one of the greatest films ever made. That's a top 5 film, no matter what.
What, Exorcist?
Yeah, it's not just a horror film. It's
absolutely. And that's the stuff that she's into, the more sophisticated stuff.
But
I guess
she's got good taste there.
She does.
That's
and then my son, he's just into everything. The gorier and crazier, the better for him. Like he doesn't like Psycho and The Exorcist.
Gore and crazy is fun.
Yeah, but he's younger than her. He's 8 or 9, and he loves Friday the 13th. That's his favorite stuff.
Well, Friday the 13th is funny. Yeah.
I love how Rick says he's 8 or 9.
Yeah, I don't know.
8 or 9.
You expect me to remember? There's so many of these guys. I can't remember them all.
He's 9.
That was like my dad. I remember one time I was very little and I was sitting watching TV on the ground, and I hear my dad, but I wasn't paying attention. And I hear Frank, Tony, Richard, Char, Frank. And about 30 seconds later, just whap right in the back of the head. And I was like, what? He's like, I was calling you. I was like, you were saying names, but you weren't calling me. From now on, anytime I say a name, you say what? And sure enough, he could call me anything. And I said, huh? What?
Yep.
But I'll never.
I don't even call them by their names because I'm not going to do that. I just say, hey.
He must have went through like 10 or 12 names, and I wasn't even paying attention.
Do you have 10 or 12 brothers?
No, he just couldn't pull my name out of his hat. It was lost that moment,
Well, for me, I have 9 brothers and sisters, so that's a very common occurrence for somebody to say 8 different names before they get to yours.
No, I only have one brother. Well, I had one. He's in the happy hunting grounds now.
Right on. So, sorority babies in the slime ball bolorama.
Yeah.
So in that film, you get your head chopped off.
Yeah, it gets ripped off by a bowling ball cleaning machine.
Yeah, and then they bowl it down the bowling alley.
Yeah, and that was the same head that was used in Night of the Demons, actually.
Okay, yeah, I like when heads get reused. That's cool.
Yeah, Steve Johnson gave them the mold so they could use it.
Right
It
on.
seems like a reoccurring thing, like because we've had a couple directors on too, and they said that it's very expensive sometimes to make those prosthetic heads.
Yeah.
So that's why they reuse them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of reoccurring, I've said this a few times, but I like saying it. I believe I'm the only person that ever had their tongue bit off twice on film.
Nice.
Night of the Demons and then an episode of ER. So I think that's like my career distinction. That's it.
Yeah,
That's what I got going for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably the only one that can say that.
I'm guessing, but even if not, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, you keep saying it, right? That's like Kane Hodder doesn't have the numbers in front of him, but he always says he's killed more people on film than anybody. But who's going to take the time to try to prove him wrong?
Exactly. Nobody's going to rip through IMDb and start counting. So just tell the story you want to tell.
Right. Yeah. So if he's not number one, he's definitely in the top 5. So he just says that, and then all of a sudden he's number 1.
He's got to be. I mean,
I think he is too.
Come on.
A lot of people.
He's got to be. I don't know. Unless there's some crazy action films, like 4 or 5 of them where somebody blasted 50 people a film.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
You had the 4 Friday the 13th, the 4 Hatchet films, and yeah.
That's true. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot.
He's got to be. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll give him his credit. Fuck him. Talk about him when he's here.
You got his number? Make that happen.
No, I don't actually, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, we met him. We met him once, and we had a nice time talking to him. But I forgot to ask him about coming on the show.
Oh shit! Well, you're gonna have to. I mean, he is a good guy. You bump into him all the time because he does a lot of the conventions.
Yeah, he does. So. He gets around.
Yeah, he's very popular.
So we got it. Sam Hodge from Redhead says, "You're the meat in an enchilada." Patricia says hi.
Well, hi,
Facebook
Patricia. Let's just let the enchilada thing slide.
So, any idea where that head is?
Thank
today?
you, Sam. It's good to hear from you.
He'll be at Ohio Terracon. His film's going to be screening there.
Redhead.
You away again. Are you going away for everybody or just for me?
What's that?
You went away again. Is that for everybody or just for me?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's been on mine all the time. So
yeah, it might be just you.
Okay, so as long as everybody else hears you, it's fine. All right. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying, do you know where the head that from the film is today?
No, actually, Steve offered it to me. He was going to give it to me, but I was very young and I was too embarrassed to go over there and pick it up. So I think he threw it away. To tell you the truth.
Oh wow.
It's been my life's goal to get a screen-used decapitated head.
Try again. I didn't hear you.
I said I've been trying to track down and buy a screen-used head.
Yes, screen-used head. Yeah,
that'd be cool to have.
I guess this is one. This counts.
What's that? I get mounted on the back there.
Well, no. I mean, I guess so. As long as you feed and care for it properly.
That's just thing. Anytime we
I just go stand behind your couch.
Anytime we have anybody on, actor, director, or otherwise, if there's a severed head in the movie, he always asks where it is and if he can buy it.
One day I'll get one. Patricia says she loves Night of the Demons. Hal, hope you can get booked in Pittsburgh sometime so she can meet you.
I'm down in Philly a lot. Yeah. I've been down there several times, but never gone. What is it, north to Pittsburgh? I guess it is.
I'll be in Pittsburgh in 2 days.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, go meet Patricia and say hello for me.
I'll do that on my way to the Phillies Pirates game. That's the reason I'm going. So.
Oh, okay, very cool. Who do you root for?
Probably the Phillies in that game.
He's just a big MLB fan. He likes to go to a lot of different.
Well, I'm meeting a good friend of mine there from Philly, so I'll root for his team while I'm there.
You have to. It's kind of like if you're here in Southern California, if you don't root for the right team, you end up dead.
Yeah.
They take it serious down there, huh?
Oh,
they're pretty serious about their parking lot feuds.
Yeah, those Dodgers Giants feuds. Yeah, that one guy. Yeah, I remember reading that. Poor guy. That was terrible.
Yeah. No, happened. It's happened several times, man. It's,
yeah.
People. What do you want? I'm gonna leave it at that before I go on a rant.
I love
How
baseball, but I don't
scuzzy
take it
people
that
can be.
seriously.
Huh?
I love baseball, but I don't take it that seriously.
Yeah. You know, they destroyed baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball is not a 4.5 hour game. I played it most of my life. It's a 90-minute game. That's it. That's how long it takes.
Well, we're going back to that now.
Well, with that pitch clock they put in last year, they've shortened the games like almost 30, 40 minutes on average each game.
And then they can take more TV timeouts. So
that's true.
It's hard. The only thing worse than watching Major League Baseball on TV is listening to it on the radio.
Ooh, yeah.
That's poison right there.
There's even more commercials for that.
Oh. But I mean, just the action. There's the windup and the pitch.
Yeah, I like going to the game.
Swing and a miss. And that's it. It's 4 hours of that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love baseball. I love watching baseball.
I love going to games, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know?
No, going to games is great, right?
Oh, yeah.
Patricia says for the Pirates, they pay more attention to the pierogi race than the Pirates.
The what?
Pierogi race.
Oh, is that when they run around in a costume?
Yeah.
Yeah. That gets pretty violent.
Yeah,
talk about crazy shit.
Yeah, the hot dog race here, they get crazy.
That's some vicious stuff right there.
So, Night of the Demons, the opening scene of Night of the Demons, when you moon the camera, when you moon the guy driving down the street, the jack-o'-lantern undies. Do you still have those?
I do not. I don't think I got to keep them. I did keep the sweatshirt.
Yeah.
But I don't think I kept the undies. I don't think I tried to keep the undies. I don't think
I think those would be pretty cool.
I let those slide.
Well, I heard that they tried to get you to go bare ass there.
What?
I heard that they tried to have you do that bare ass, and you were against it.
He did. Kevin asked me, well, shit, I don't want, nobody needs that.
I think it was much cooler the way it went. Myself.
It's funnier.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's not funny to show your ass, but it's funny to show your jack-o'-lantern.
Right, absolutely.
That's interesting. But
Sam
yeah,
says that was one hell of a full moon.
Thank you.
So there was a lot of makeup effects in that film. What was that like? Getting the makeup.
It was cool for me. I loved it. First off, I love every aspect of filmmaking. So getting to see how everything gets built and designed, because you spend several days in the studio with the artists while they're building this stuff, while they're making it. They have to cast you and all in your face and all this stuff. And so, like when I first walked into, I think it was The Abyss. Steve Johnson had just done The Abyss like the year or two before, and they had all these. If you remember The Abyss, there was all these see-through creatures because they were so low, and they all glowed with blue light, and it was just like this incredible thing. I walked in, and they were all sitting on a shelf. These like huge stingrays that are clear, and just sitting there, and they look exactly like they do in the film, except they weren't lit up. And so I was like, yeah, I know I'm in the right place now, because it's just like. It's like you were talking a minute ago about somebody telling a story about Edith Head and all, old Hollywood.
Yeah. I
just love all that stuff, So I go in there and I'm really happy and I get to see how everything's built. And when they put it on, I didn't mind it. A lot of people don't like having a full prosthetic on. I didn't mind it at all. I only hated getting it taken off because they use solvent to get the glue off. And they used, I don't know if everybody does it, but they use a little like bristle brush, like really sharp brush to kind of cut the solvent off.
Yeah.
And it would, your whole head, it would peel off. After about 3 or 4 days of that, it felt like you had a tattoo every day. And it was so incredibly painful.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like begging them to let me keep it on. Like, I'll be really careful. I'll sleep perfectly. I won't do anything. I won't even sleep. I'll just sit up all night. And they're like, no, I can't last. And so went through that. But that was the only part I didn't like, was getting it taken off.
So you had to do that for several days, not just one day, huh?
Yeah, no, we did it for days and days. Because there's different levels of makeup. There's different levels of possession. Mm-hmm. And then finally the burn makeup. That burn makeup at the end, that took 11.5 hours just to put on.
Oof.
And
brutal, man.
They actually they said, "What do you want to drink?" I was like, "What?" They're like, "This is going to be miserable, so the producer think you should probably have a drink." And I was like, "All right, I'll take a bottle of Jack Daniels." I did share the bottle, but I drank it, got wasted, and got sober before we worked. That's how long it took. It was incredible. It was 11 and a half hours, but it was an amazing makeup. He actually designed the technique for Richard Pryor's autobiographical film.
Oh, right on.
When he did a demonstration for Pryor, he said Pryor freaked out because it was too real. It was too reminiscent of what happened to him.
Oh yeah. Because he lit his whole face on fire. And if you watch his film, the makeup, the burn makeup is not very good. It's very fake. And it's because Pryor just couldn't go through it again, which understandable. So Charles Sherrod from the Dive podcast that goes live right after us at 8:00. He says the prosthetics. Did you rub anything on your face after you took off the makeup? Did
I rub anything off my face
after you took off the makeup? After you took off the makeup.
So many things just popped right through. Yes, as often as possible. No, I don't think so. Why? I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's a yes, so I asked.
I don't understand the question. Did I rub
He's probably asking like if there's like some kind of something that you put on your face to like maybe help with the irritation.
Oh, to make you feel better?
No. Yeah.
No.
I'm assuming that's what he was asking.
Yeah, no. There was nothing you could do because it is a really abrasive process to get it taken off. So there's not really anything you could do. I imagine there maybe be some kind of cream or ointment you could do, but yeah, never mind.
Well, we appreciate those sacrifices because practical effects in movies are way, way better than when they try to do stuff with computers. I don't know. I think
so. I agree. I mean, computers are getting better now, but for so long, it's like I don't want to watch a cartoon. I want to watch a movie.
Right.
If I want to watch a cartoon, I'll watch a cartoon.
Exactly.
And there were so many effects in Demons. It was like every day there was a new practical effect, pretty much, and they were all incredible. They were all so good, and that was Steve Johnson and his team.
Mm-hmm. They did a real good job with all the special effects, all the makeups and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff, including the lipstick. I know you go in there sooner or later.
Well, a while ago, I had just seen the movie. Well, I seen it when I was a kid because, my kids, I was allowed to watch horror movies early on too.
Yeah.
And I thought I hadn't seen it, and somebody was talking about it on I forget which podcast. It might have been Kevin Ellis who was here earlier. It might have been his podcast, the Spooky Horror Picture Show. All right, okay. Might have been him that was talking about it. But so I went to watch it again before I knew you were coming to this thing. And then I you know how I realized I'd seen it before?
How's that?
From Leanna Quigley's First Scene. That's how I knew I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
I was like, I've definitely seen this movie.
Yeah. You never forget that, do you?
No. Yeah, I didn't forget that. Yeah, definitely brought back memories.
That was more impressive than the lipstick, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that image doesn't leave your head.
No doubt.
Interesting little tidbit was, there's the two cashiers working at the counter in that scene. One of them is the guy that does all the demon voices through the film.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jim Quinn, and he just does them. He just can talk demon talk, which is great because I can't get anywhere near that. I was the most unscary demon on the planet until he went in and looped it for me.
Kevin Ellis is still here. He said, yeah, Chris, his co-host, did the bonus features on the Blu-ray. Okay, that makes sense. But, he did all the demon voices except for the one, it's not credited, Soundwave's voice, the main character, Angela. Isn't her name Angela?
I thought he did all of them. I thought he did Angela.
He didn't do that one. That one was done by a guy that has about 3,000 voice credits. His name's Frank something or other. I will tell you in just a second.
Well, then I'm sorry, Frank. I had no idea, but no.
But that's the only one he did. Your guy did the rest of them, but he did hers. And when I was watching it, I'm like, I know this voice, you know. I'm like, and he did the if you're Frank Welker. Yeah, Frank Welker. We were talking about like, yeah, this guy he's been everybody. He's been Scooby-Doo, Transformers, all kinds of cool stuff. But he was Soundwave in Transformers, and I was like, I know that voice. But yeah,
very cool. I had no idea. That's cool. That's good to know, though.
And Joanna, yes, we were referring to the Sour Balls guy. Yes, the Sour Balls guy did the rest of the voices.
Yes, Sour Balls. Yeah, you have sour balls. Well, yes.
And I also remembered that line from when I was a kid too, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've definitely seen this."
It's kind of a memorable film. I mean, it was pretty. I thought it was very well done for what it was. Tell you the truth.
No, I really dig it. I'm gonna watch it with my son. He hasn't seen it yet, and we're gonna watch it with him before we go to the con because he's gonna be at the con. And,
wait a minute. How old is he?
8 or 9. I don't know. Ryan says 9.
He's 9.
Okay.
For the sake of the con, since you get in 10 and under free, they're both 10.
Oh. There you go. Well, at least you said he was 9.
Hopefully Zach does not listen to our podcast.
No, he just appeared on it. That's all.
Oh, you have to be 10 and older to come in?
10 and younger, you get in for free.
Oh, okay. I get it. Well, that's cool. Cart that little kid in, man.
Yeah, no, he'll be there for sure. He's gonna cosplay for sure. He'll probably be in Jason cosplay, or we might be doing since Leatherface is gonna be there. He's gonna probably dress like Leatherface.
Very cool. Very cool.
So you're gonna be doing like in costume photo ops and all kinds of cool stuff, right?
Yeah, I do.
So
I had a sweatshirt made. It took forever to do it. I had to find a graphic artist to do the burn to burn symbol on the front, and then I just lucked into a friend of a friend, actually the guy that has all the Stooge stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the leather gauntlets and the rings and all.
That's who we were talking about a couple minutes ago, Chris McGibbon.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And his friend Raina, I don't know if you know her.
I don't know her.
I was complaining.
I don't know Chris.
That
I only met him once.
The sweatshirt finished because I didn't have anybody to do the back. There's an Anarchy A on the back, and I can't spray paint anything to save my life.
Oh, right.
She's just like, we're just sitting around talking. She goes, I was a graffiti artist. I'll do it for you. Yeah. Okay. And so I showed her the picture, and we got her some spray paint, and she just, and it was done, and it looks exactly like the original. It was crazy. Yeah. So it took 6 months to make the friggin' shirt, but now I got it, and so I do the in costume stuff.
Cool.
6.5 hours or 6 for the shirt isn't as bad as 11.5 hours of makeup, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was a long haul. But again, it's just that stuff is so fascinating to me. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I'm the guy that when I'm shooting something, unless I have to be gone and working in my head, I'll be sitting somewhere on the set watching, observing.
Hell yeah!
I think 11.5 hours. I think 11.5 hours of makeup would be fascinating for me once, but that's it.
Well, yeah, it's not something you want to do every day, But it's I don't know. I just like absorbing all of it, and also too being on set. The more you see, the more you understand the flavor and texture of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's so you kind of can absorb all of that, and the more of that you absorb, the more authenticity you bring to it.
Joanna Hodge, who is Sam Hodge's wife, who's also she is redhead in the movie.
I know
Redhead.
who she is. Yes.
She
won
worked
a
with
prize
Kathy
for
Podwell.
Redhead recently.
What's that?
She won an award for Redhead recently.
Yeah, they've been cleaning up. They won a few awards, and she says she worked with Kathy Podwell on Reunion from Hell, and she used the fudge logs bit in her lines.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
All of our followers, watchers, commenters, they're all award winners somehow.
Oh yeah.
We're the least known people on here.
Definitely, yeah.
Rick and I, not
we have not won awards. None.
I think I probably got you beat in that aspect.
We we're striving to win like the award for most mediocre podcast in existence.
No,
everybody needs a goal, man.
The least worst.
That's least worst. That's us.
The least worst.
So speaking of cons, horror conventions, when did you go to your first horror convention? What was that like? When was that?
Oh God, I don't even know. It was a while back. I mean, everything's moving on me. Jesus, it had to be 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I said no for the longest time. I don't know. I can't do the math, but I said no for 20, 21 years. I was asked all the time. I just it was just something I didn't feel comfortable doing. And then Kevin Tenney asked me to go to a screening for his charity.
Okay.
So went to the screening, and at the end we had a kind of a receiving line where we met everybody, and they were all so nice. It was it was a lot of fun. So then I said, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll try one. And so actually he called me again and said, now come to a con. And so I went, and I think it was Days of the Dead in Indianapolis. I think was the first one.
Okay. And we haven't been to any of those yet because we're kind of new to these convention things too. This will be one of the first bigger conventions that we've went to. We went to a couple where they had like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 celebrities. Went to a mini Friday the 13th convention in Blairstown. That was pretty cool. That was one of the first ones we got to. What's that?
What was it? We're losing you again.
A mini convention at Blairstown Diner in Blairstown, New York.
Okay.
Or New Jersey, not New York. They get mad when I do that.
They do.
Yeah.
So
I haven't done that many overall. I think I've done like 15, 16, somewhere in there. In the last whatever it's been, years.
Right on.
But it's a lot of fun. You people don't treat you this good at home. No. You know what I mean? You go and everybody's nice to you. They don't walk up to you unless they want to be nice to you.
Yeah,
nobody walks up to you and go, "Hey, you suck, man." They might say it as they pass by, but
no, they're usually really cool, anyway, man. At these conventions.
Like this year I'll be doing 3, and with everybody too. I mean, we've got pretty much everybody. We're going to be doing, was it Jersey in early August? Then the week after we'll be in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And then in September, we're in Marlborough, Massachusetts. And pretty much everybody, Linnea, Mimi, or Amelia, Alvin, me, and Kathy's going to be at a couple of them too. Mm-hmm. So it should be fun.
Hell yeah.
I like getting together and seeing them. I love all those guys. So it's nice to be able to see them every now and again.
What is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you at a convention? Maybe they gave you something like crazy and weird to sign, or anything like weird stories from a convention?
No, I don't really have any. Because I would dip in and dip out so fast for most of them. Mm-hmm. I just as soon as it was done, as soon as I was free, boom, I was gone. I was up in the room. And generally, I would just immediately call my wife, and we would jabber for the rest of the night, Mm-hmm. But no, I've never really had. Oh, you know what? I did have somebody force some kind of weird drugs on me.
Right on.
It was like 2 years ago. Some stuff I'd never heard of. And I was like, "Is it legal?" And he was in a little bottle that looked like legit. And she's like, "Well, not really." But you're going to love it. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I looked it up online when I got home. And apparently it kills you.
Yeah. Death, the ultimate high.
Yeah, apparently it's one of those things. So I've never even cracked the lid on it.
Yeah.
But and she wouldn't take no for an answer. Because I was like, no, I don't, I'm cool. I don't want it. I live a pretty straight life,
Yeah.
Rick with the nice.
Oh, there was the time that I smuggled weed, though.
Oh, interesting.
I did a convention. It was a weed convention.
Oh, really?
I think I was the only celebrity there, if I remember right. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared about horror films, nothing. Until apparently, Alf is like a really big show for pot smokers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once they realized that I'd been on Alf, then I was okay. Everybody, I love Alf. All of a sudden I was in. So anyway, they came by giving out samples, and I thought they were gummies because they were in like a foil pouch. You couldn't see them. And so I was going back to Philadelphia. I had a friend there that liked weed, so I was going to bring in the gummies. And I get there, and I was like, "Hey, look, I brought you back something." And as soon as he put his fingers on it, he goes, "I don't think this is what you think it is." And it was a bud like that big.
Oh, wow.
So technically, I was smuggling drugs on accident.
Yeah, that happens. It happens to the best of us.
I don't know. You might be allowed to do that nowadays. I don't really know. I mean, I live in California where weed falls out of the sky now.
It's legal here in Ohio now too.
Is it?
Yeah, they just legalized it last year.
It's got to be. You got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, please.
Yeah, we just got it legal, and it's still not even. You can't. There's no stores you can buy it at yet.
Oh, really?
That's supposed to be happening real soon, so we'll see. I don't smoke, but my wife likes to eat edibles, and I like her to eat edibles because it's better for her than the pills that they had subscribed to her for anxiety and different things like that. So I talked her into doing it, and it's definitely worked out much better for her.
Actually, edibles are great.
Yeah,
I use it for pain.
Yeah.
Well,
we had a dog that was a senior dog. He was like 20 years old. We fed him cannabis, and it helped him live less pain.
But you
in the
did
last
that just so you can laugh at your dog.
Yeah.
Well, if you're into edibles, I might just have a little care package for you when you get to town.
Well, yeah, he does that.
A little bit.
You got.
We're not allowed to tell nobody about that.
There's always some greenery near me.
Okay. Good to know.
And so maybe some fresh baked chocolate chip cookies on my table.
He is a hell of a baker. See, I don't eat the ones with the things in it, but regular baked goods. Yeah, he makes the best cookies.
Thank you.
Okay. Cookies are awesome, man.
So
can't go wrong with a pastry.
Yeah. So back to conventions though. Have you ever or would you ever stand in line at a con to meet somebody? Is there somebody that you would actually want to meet at a con, or maybe have?
No, there's been a bunch of people, but I never have. Generally, because you don't really have the time when you're there. But in the one time I just got to Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
I did a couple shows with him, and I really wanted to meet him, and I never.
He's a great dude, man.
I never did. I just like the guy's awesome as far as I'm concerned.
We were actually just talking about him.
But there's all kinds of, I love actors. So like every other table, I want to go talk to them, and I'll usually, give a wave or a nod or something,
Yeah.
And a lot of them, I'm lucky because, I've been around for a while, so I know a lot of folks. And so it's kind of nice to see people. The cons are a great environment, But yeah, there's a crap ton of people. Al Pacino, I would stand in the street for.
Sure.
Hell yeah. I love Al.
It's just like, it made me think of that because he's really big on being nice and doing backdoor signings at theaters.
Oh, right on.
But but his autograph is just a scribbled A. That's it.
I know. I've seen it.
But still, friggin' Pacino, man. It's Michael Corleone. Come on.
Exactly. Is that your favorite Al Pacino role?
Yeah, but that's not my favorite moment. My favorite moment of Al Pacino, again, I key in on these moments. There was a film he did called Bobby Deerfield. It wasn't the greatest film in the world. He was a Le Mans driver, and he's on a date with some woman, and he's driving through the mountains. They're in Europe, and she makes a comment that he holds the steering wheel like a woman, very feminine. And it's because he's a precision driver, so he holds it gently. And you see him just very, very slowly get a man's grip on the wheel because he didn't want to share that part of himself,
Yeah.
And it's just such a great moment. It was so well done. But Michael Corleone is definitely my favorite performance of his. All of them, all three of them.
Right.
And after that, Serpico probably. Then there's Panic in Needle Park. That's pretty awesome too.
He's always been awesome for sure.
He is. I mean, he's one of America's finest actors throughout history. I mean, he's a top. I always like the term top 5 guy. I never say who's the best.
Yeah, it's hard because it'll change all the time.
It does. I mean, if you look at it like Robert Duvall was America's greatest actor forever and a day. Until he hit a certain age, like 45 or 50. And he did Lonesome Dove, and from then on, all they've hired him to do is play old cowboys.
Yeah.
But if you look at his career before that, he was the best actor in this country, hands down, by a long shot. And I think he's been surpassed by Meryl Streep because she's been able to play a greater variety of characters.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only guy I will say is the best, is Duvall. But I think they kind of nipped his creativity in the bud. If you look at the stuff he does for himself, the films that he produces and directs, holy shit, it's brilliant stuff. The guy's just, I'm a big Duvall fan. He's like, I don't know, I'm a fan of everybody. What am I talking about? I love this stuff.
He's like Craig Mueckler. Everybody's his best friend.
Yeah,
there you go.
Speaking of Al Pacino, Craig Mueckler, he did a TV show with Al Pacino's stepmother.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He was a dude that wrote Microwave Massacre. He was one of the first guests we ever had on. The dude's a character, man.
Yeah.
Who's Al Pacino's stepmother? That one got by me.
Yeah, Al Pacino's stepmother. She just passed away, actually. Kathy Pacino. She kept the name forever. She was married to Sal Pacino, but she's actually she married Al's dad when Al was already had done The Godfather and everything else. You know, he was already really big.
Okay.
You know, so he's like stepmother by technicality, you know, but she didn't like raise a dude or anything. Yeah.
Well, stepmother's a stepmother. It counts.
Yeah.
She's smart to keep the name.
He was like a stepmother that met him probably at the wedding, and that was probably about it. Like,
yeah, stepmother.
Still counts, man. It still counts.
Yeah.
It's like that 23-year-old woman that's married to the 80-year-old millionaire. Still counts.
Something like that.
Well, didn't De Niro
she's still taking home the check.
Didn't De Niro and Pacino both father a child last year?
Yes.
They both did.
Something like that, yeah. They're in a competition to see
yeah, they are.
who can dribble one out the longest.
That's insane. But Jonah Hodge
another guy who's done some great work. Boy, De Niro. It's like I know most people now know him for the comedies that he does, but Godfather 2, his performance is one of the best things ever put on film.
Agreed.
He is so incredible in The Godfather 2. If you really pay attention to what he's doing, I mean, every second is brilliant. Every second.
Okay, we're back.
That's one of the only films where you can argue that the sequel is better than the first.
Aliens.
I don't think it is, but they're tied completely.
It's same with I think I like Aliens better than Alien, but I love them both.
Yes, yeah, I'll give you that one.
They're two totally different things though. One's a horror, one's an action.
Yeah.
One on Thanksgiving one year, they released a film. It was called Godfather: The Complete Epic.
Yeah.
And
it mixed 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it had scenes with Hyman Roth as a kid. And it was the coolest thing ever.
I
actually have a zip file of it.
I must not have seen it because I don't remember Hyman Roth as a kid.
That was the only time it ever was. And it's not on video. I found VHS box sets with it.
Yeah.
I have a zip file for it because a friend of mine that watches the show from sometimes heard me talking about it, and she found a way to get it. I don't know anything about technology, so I don't know how to get it from the zip file to the TV.
I can help.
But if I do, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. That's a fantastic performance too.
And there's so much more Robert De Niro.
Oh my God. He was so good. One of the greatest lines ever too, Michael Corleone. They're like, oh, he's sick. You know, why are you going to kill him? He's sick. He's like, he's been dying from the same heart attack for 30 years.
But there's like so much more. There's probably another hour of De Niro in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the thing about Coppola, man. He would just grind and grind and grind. He didn't care. He never stopped. And I think that's why he's so brilliant. He's the greatest director in history that doesn't know how to make a movie. He just will not stop. The ideas don't stop. He sits. Actors will be doing a scene, and he's sitting by the camera, rewriting the dialogue. He just never ever stops. His brain is always creating, and I think that's one of the reasons he's just so freaking good. As long as he's got a strong producer, he produces, as far as I'm concerned, the best product that's out there. He's by far my favorite director. By far.
Right on.
Of course, I like them all because I like everything about film.
So, Ryan, you said you had something you wanted to ask him, right?
I actually do, kind of off the wall.
Uh-oh.
This is via a friend of mine. She's not a big horror person, but she watches from time to time. Just a personal friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But she is a huge fan.
Hold on, now everybody's glitching.
Oh, sorry.
You're gonna have to start over.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Am I good now?
Nope. You're gone.
Nope.
Oh, I saw that. Try talking.
Okay.
No, you're good now, I think.
Okay. She is a huge fan, though, of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
So I'm just curious how that came about.
It was just a normal audition. I mean, I think I only had like 2 or 3 lines in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Never even talked to the director.
No.
It was Kathy Fryman, who is the most prolific TV director in history now.
She made a ton of.
She's done more episodes of television than anybody. And I never even really talked to her because of, it was a rainstorm. We were in a taxi cab in a rainstorm. And they couldn't open everything up or we'd all end up soaked, So we'd do a take and the first AD would run up and shout through the window, "Try this," and run away. And that's what we did. But I do have the distinction of How I Met Your Mother. I was the one that brought Mom to town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I got that. That's a feather under my cap, which means absolutely nothing to anybody but me.
Right on.
See,
it was very cool. It was.
Yeah, she's obsessed with that show. And she
it's
saw
a good show, man. What a strong cast too. What a bunch of good actors.
I did watch it once through, and I did remember your scene, but not like the details.
It's pretty small. I mean, there wasn't much to it, But it's a solid cast, great writing. I mean, it was a good show. I didn't watch it all that much because I don't know why. I just didn't. Probably didn't know what it was on.
I watched it once all the way through, but I waited till it was on streaming. It was like
I've seen a few of them.
Yeah.
I see bits and pieces scrolling through Facebook. That's how I'm familiar with the show. But other than that,
it's worth watching if you have.
It was such a great mix, and it's one of the shows where it was never a talking head show. Usually with a big ensemble, they end up being kind of talking head shows. It never was because they would always break it into little pieces. The ensemble was rarely all together at the same time. It was all their different lives. It was like really well constructed.
Yeah, they only really came together all the time when they were at the bar.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I've only seen a few of them, but I enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a normal audition, and it was a fun day shooting, and
And I
like
assume
I said, they're all fun days. It doesn't really matter.
And I'm assuming, like earlier, it's a big project too. That's a big production, so I'm sure the paycheck cleared.
Yes. You get paid pretty decently on the better jobs, and you get treated pretty decently too. You can't complain at all. It's a good life.
Patricia said, "What is the most complicated scene you did for Night of the Demons? Do any stick out?"
Probably the stuff in the burn makeup.
Okay.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I never really thought about that, but none of us could see very well at that time because we all had these contacts in. They were all filthy, so you kind of they were hard to it's hard to see. You covered in this makeup, and I remember Kathy was on the wall, and she was only holding on to a little piece of thin rubber. The barbed wire fence was rubber. And that was the only thing holding her up. There was a bolt in the wall, so she had one foot on. So with one hand, I was holding her up. And in the other hand, I'm trying to kill her, And probably managing all that because we were all in the same scene at the same time and had to be in the same shot at the same time because everybody disappeared, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, once she makes it over the wall, then everybody's out.
Yeah, it was fairly complex to do that, I know, like most people think that the thing with the mirror on the ground, the broken mirror, was the hardest, but that really wasn't all that hard. Kevin had that really planned out well, and as long as we all knew where to move, boom, it's just like. I don't know if you remember that shot or not. It was
yeah. Oh, definitely,
but, it was actually pretty easy to do. It looks like how did you do that? But
it looks like something that you would have did like computerized afterwards.
Huh?
But see, it looks like you might have did it with CGI.
Unplug it and plug it in again.
If I do that, we're all gone.
Oh, all right, never mind. What'd you say?
No, I was saying that the mirror scene, it looks like it might have been done with CGI, but you said it wasn't.
No, it was a live scene. They basically took broken mirror, and I shouldn't even say it because it blows the magic, but it is what it looks like. It was broken mirror glued to a piece of floor, but the floor was not on the ground. It was standing up. So all we had to do is lean out and lean in.
Oh.
And as long as you didn't move, it was pretty easy. It wasn't hard to do,
right on.
That's one of the basic things we all learn in the very beginning is where to stop moving. That's like the most important thing when you're working on film as an actor, because you always have to stop in the same spot, no matter what you're doing. And so you develop all these different little tricks and tools to kind of get you through that. But so that was a great shot, but it was pretty easy to do. I think, as far as I'm concerned, the most difficult part was that, and I think it was the last day of shooting when we did all that, and that was probably the hardest part. Also, I'd already been up for like 20 hours at that point. So it was a little tiring, but a lot of fun, man. That was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. All right, so we usually go like an hour. We're like an hour and 15 minutes into this, so we're gonna wrap this up.
All right.
But I want to thank you first for coming on the show, and we will see you on August 16th and 17th, Ohio Terracon. Tickets available, ohioterracon.com maybe. I don't know. You can go through the Facebook. They have a link there. And everybody get your tickets for weekend passes, photo ops, and Jonna, yes, he will have the pig nose and the costume to do in-costume photo ops at the event. You can pre-buy your tickets for in-costume photo ops on the page. And I think that covers everything.
That does, I'm sure. If not, just plug in your almost working computer again and add something to it. No.
Yeah,
we will do that.
Rick and his fancy Apple computer over there.
I know.
That's
It
right.
sucks. I'd be better off with that $50 computer I was using.
Well, my guess is the computer works just fine.
Could be.
Operator error.
Yeah, operator error, always.
But
I'm just messing with you, man.
All good, brother.
Thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure being with you, man.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun conversation. Like I said, man, if you get in early on Thursday, let me know, and I'll take you down to the Rock Hall, some other places.
I will take you up on that. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. I haven't been
there in a while either. I wouldn't mind going. It's been many years since.
Very cool. We'll both do it. We'll have cookies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got cookies.
Yeah. I'll provide the craft service that day.
I heard craft service, so we'll take that. Now everything's glitching all of a sudden. Maybe it's only for me. Maybe it's mine.
It might be. We'll find out. Because I'm gonna get you out of here. We're gonna talk about something for a minute afterwards. But I'm gonna get you out of here, and then me and Ryan are gonna talk about something for a minute, and then we're gonna get out of here. And actually, I'm gonna go back to work. That's what I do after this.
Oh shoot! All right. Well,
I work like
tough.
15 hours a day.
Enjoy those 20 kids.
Yeah.
I recommend putting them to work. You could, like, in the garage, make your own sweatshop.
Yeah.
That's
Crack
the
a
goal.
whip, get them working.
You say that, but that's actually what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about starting a T-shirt company, and I'm going to make them make the T-shirts. Yes. So
I don't know what you just said, but I would recommend starting a computer company. Or maybe a modem company. I don't know. Whatever.
That's a better.
Well, this will be up on iTunes, and you can listen to it if you want to, and maybe you can hear the stuff that was glitching out. I don't know. But thanks again, Hal, man. We'll see you on August 16th or maybe the 15th if you get in town a day early. All right?
You bet. You guys take care. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, brother. Have a great day.
All right.
All right, man. So that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't sound crazy when we actually put this out, but
I could hear you the whole time.
Okay, maybe it was just the connection between us and him, but who knows? I gotta see if I can figure out a way to get a an Ethernet cable hooked up to this computer. It took me a week to find the headphone jack, so there might be an Ethernet cable, and I just don't know. I'm looking now.
Look on the ceiling.
Why would it be on the ceiling? They're into the computer. So, did you want to talk about long legs for a second? Since we're on, or do you want to get the hell out of here?
Fuck it, we're here.
All right, that's what I figured. You want to go to that. So yeah, me and Ryan in the past week or two, and probably most of you have seen this already, but
Hopefully.
we'll still keep it lightly spoiler free.
Yeah.
We went to see Long Legs with Nicolas Cage, directed by Oz Perkins, Anthony Perkins' son. And so what were your initial thoughts of the film? How did you? Yeah.
Did you see any of Oz Perkins' other films before?
No, never heard of the guy.
Oh, he did that Hansel and Gretel remake a few years ago.
Okay.
It was meh for me.
Yeah.
And then he did that thing. It was a thing on Netflix. It was a horror movie on net. Yeah.
That's Rosa. I was just asking about it.
Yeah. It was.
I
called,
did end up cutting it into a circle. So.
The name of that Netflix movie is "I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in This House" or something like
Jesus
that.
Jesus Christ, that's almost like the sorority girls in the bowling alley from whatever the fuck.
And I didn't care for that either. So the marketing campaign for this was cool, but I already knew who the director was, and I didn't care for his other films. So I went into this with actually low
expectations.
Well, I went with low expectations.
Yeah.
Because, but yeah, right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, I really like this.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did. There were some things that I didn't like. I like Maxime better. I'll say that right off the bat because since we've seen them both recently.
Okay.
But one thing I really dug about this movie that was cool was when I was a kid, I was a real big comic book fan. I still am. And I wanted to draw comic books, and that was what I wanted to do with my life. And I got this book called How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. And I believe Romita might have wrote it, John Romita Sr., or maybe his son Junior, who knows. But nevertheless, in this book, one of the biggest things that they talked about, like Marvel comics versus other comics, is the way they use perspective.
Sure.
And in the shots in this movie, you could really see the way that they toyed with perspective in almost every frame.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. I mean, it was really cool.
That's beautifully shot.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. We'll get to
Definitely.
that. But yeah, it's beautifully shot. I won't say whether or not whether I think this is the best horror movie so far this year, but it is the best directed as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that. I the best the cinematography. The way it was shot is
definitely
far superior to everything else that's out.
Yeah,
it's not even close. And Maxime was a beautiful movie.
It was,
but this was just
totally different style.
Yeah.
So.
And this was just shot so different. I just really, really dug it, man.
Yeah, it's definitely the best directed horror film of 2024 so far. We still got 5 months to go.
Yeah.
And who knows what'll come out between now and then. This for me, this felt like a mashup of True Detective season 1, 7, and Zodiac, kind of all in one.
I could see that, even though, believe it or not, I have not seen either one of those.
You've never seen 7?
If I did, my recollection of it is the same as it was for The Night of the Demons before I rewatched it. So I think I have seen it, but I haven't seen it, and I don't know. We talked about this before because we were gonna do a review of it, but eventually, but yeah. No.
7 is not really a horror movie. It's kind of in that, right? It's a thriller.
The horror adjacent. Yeah.
And there's definitely some horrific shit that goes on.
But I've seen enough of all three of those things to understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's David fucking Fincher, man. At his best. One of the best living directors there is. So, yeah. And then Zodiac, which was also an awesome... Wow, that's David Fincher, too. I just realized.
I think that's how this came up that I hadn't seen Seven, because we were talking about a different David Fincher movie.
Zodiac is sort of horror.
Obviously. It's another horror adjacent.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, so is this.
Yeah, but I would call this one a horror movie. I would. Because
of the supernatural elements?
There's that, and there's some jump scares and things too.
Yeah.
That's in there.
I really need to get to that episode.
True Detective season 1 is also like horror adjacent, more thriller.
Yeah.
Which is weird that this film reminds me of 3 things that I wouldn't call straight horror, but are very close to it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very thriller, very dark atmosphere. And I think that's what really sucked me in, though, was the atmosphere of this movie. It just right the fuck in.
Very well shot. Everything.
Sometimes the shots like linger when they're entering like a certain area. The main actors move in, but the shot still stays on what's behind them, and you think there might be something there, but even when there isn't, it's still interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still paying attention. Like,
he really had a way of just making you get trapped in the movie and really think about what was going on all the time, and it was really well done.
See, we have a small cast here, but it's a good one, so I want to run it down.
Okay.
We have Micah Monroe, who plays Lee Harker, the lead in it. I love her because I'm a huge fan of It Follows.
Yeah.
And she plays a totally different kind of role in this. Now, I know her performance is very subdued in this, but I think that's what they're going for, or what they went for. It's very subdued. It's not. She's very even-keeled. Then we have Blair Underwood, who everyone knows. Plays Agent Carter. He was a very, very, very solid performer in this, and my main thing is like, goddamn, he's one handsome motherfucker.
Blair Underwood?
Yeah.
And he's got to be 60s.
He's 59 years old in this movie.
Okay, I was close.
He looks every bit of 35.
Right, exactly.
Lucky.
Yeah, I'll agree with that for sure.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, like, because I know, it's Blair Underwood. He's been around forever. That's, and I'm like, he's 59. But yeah. And yeah, he was good in it, but his character isn't the most important one. Now, before I get to the fourth one, who is the one everyone talks about, the one I really want to talk about is Alicia Witt.
Alicia Witt. She was one of my favorite parts of the whole Sopranos franchise.
Yeah. Now,
man, she was smoking hot in that.
I've been a fan of her for legit 30 years. She did a little independent film in 1994 called Fun. Sort of kind of horror adjacent too. Highly recommended. It's probably tough to track down. I doubt it's on any streaming. I doubt it has a Blu-ray release.
What was the name of it?
Fun, just Fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's her and Renee Humphrey. She went on to have a decent acting career too, but not like Alicia Witt, who's been in so much stuff. I thought she was absolutely phenomenal in this film. Even just the sound of her voice on the phone before we see her on screen, I know her voice like right away. It's so unique. She did a couple episodes of Walking Dead. Like I said, I just recently got into that show and watched it through.
Right on.
She was in a couple of those, and just that voice, man. It's like kind of bitchy, but it stands out. Yeah, I thought she was terrific. And I don't think enough people talk about her enough in general. And I remember her in The Sopranos, but not like that. Yeah,
she was the assistant to what was the director that he was in Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's so famous. What the hell's that guy's name? He's kind of a bigger guy. He was in. I think he directed Swingers.
Oh, Jon Favreau.
Yeah, Jon Favreau. The episode he was in, she was his assistant. Yeah.
So, I thought she was absolutely phenomenal. But then, of course, everyone's going to talk about Nicolas Cage. And rightfully so.
Right.
He was excellent.
He was I mean, a lot of people are saying it's his best role ever.
No.
And I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
It's not his best role ever, but what he did, and it didn't need to be much. He's not in like every scene.
Yeah.
What he did,
he's probably got 7 minutes of screen time.
Yeah. But what he needed to do, I think he did it perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Knocked it out of the park. Now, I think Alicia Witt's performance is better, but because she was leaned on more. But I thought they were both excellent, and she would have stole the movie if not for him, in my opinion.
Oh, Hal Havins is in the comments now. He says he was talking to Jonah Hodge, so maybe he's still watching our review of Longlegs.
But yeah, those are the big four, and there were some other smaller roles, but those are the only four that really
mattered. The ones that mattered. Yeah, absolutely.
Very small cast. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. Like very, very much. You said you liked Maxine better, right?
By about this much, and I think if I rewatch them, it might change.
See, I'm the other way by about this much. I think I liked it better than Maxine, but only by that much.
Did you do a top 5, bottom 5 for this, or no?
I got 3.
3? Okay. Yeah. 3's cool if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do the bottoms. The bottom least favorite things about it. We don't find out why Lee can solve these puzzles so easily. I mean, we kind of have the answer alluded to, but they rush through it. They just throw shit in front of her and she figures it out. I think
it wasn't definitive. See, on Death Curse Society, they kept saying, Crank kept saying, and one of the other guys, maybe even 2 of the other guys, were saying that they thought she had a little bit of autism in her. And being the father of an autistic child, I didn't get the chance to chime in on that. But I wanted to say, because somebody else was like, oh, you're so off by that. Like, no, you're not. Because my kid does a lot of that same stuff that she does. So she may have been autistic, but either way, whatever the reason behind it was, they did not really flesh it out.
And I think her character would have been so much more interesting if, and she did a good job of playing a subdued part. And it pains me to say it. I liked her character for what it was, but she wasn't very interesting.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And I did think she was interesting. I really liked her a lot.
I didn't find her fascinating, really. I mean, fascinating, yes, but interesting, no. I think if they would have dived deeper on her puzzle-solving skills, because she was also solving, those FBI puzzles, too, that they were talking about. Okay, how?
Uh-huh.
And why? That's number 3. My second least favorite thing about this is once the religious undertones came in, they just smacked you right over the head with them. It should have been more subtle.
Okay.
It just hit because there was nothing really religious about it for the first hour, other than her mom mentioning, "Did you pray?" on the phone. But other than that, no. And then all of a sudden, once that element came in, it was just a 10-ton hammer. And obviously for someone like me, that's no real logical explanation for anything. So, and my number 1 least favorite thing about this, and I thought this was a very interesting aspect, but again, it was glossed over. How and why did he become a doll maker? Again, just
that would have. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's something that we needed more of.
Yeah, because the dolls were creepy and effective, but how? Why?
Yeah. If there was any reason whatsoever given for that, it would have jumped the movie up, maybe even a whole letter grade.
No, before I get into my favorite things, I'm gonna say this too. More background on her, more background on the dolls. I get it. You only get 95, 100 minutes or whatever this was. I think this movie would have played better as a TV show.
Yeah, like a season of the show you mentioned,
like a True Detective, like a 10 episode thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched some of that with Chris, and I really liked it, and I just never got back to it. Woody Harrelson was the first season, right?
Yes, season 1 is phenomenal. The rest of them nowhere near as good.
Yeah.
But they're all about different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, season 1 is its own story.
Right, yeah.
So on and so forth.
Yeah, but that's the one I had seen a little bit of.
Yeah. with Woody and Matt McConaughey.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do feel like this would have been better as like a mini series more than just a standalone film, but I still really liked it. My three favorite things. Number 3, the score. It gave like that classic like score vibe, and that's like one thing that we were kind of missing on some of these recent modern horror movies. They kind of gloss over the score and just have soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
So with Maxine, yeah, the music was great, but it was just a soundtrack for the most part.
I agree with that 100%. Like how a score composed specifically for a movie, specifically for the scenes in a movie, adds much more depth and feeling to a movie. And in this, yeah, definitely was there.
Yeah, it was like the credit name was like Zigil, something like that. But it was the brother of the director, actually.
Oh, really?
That scored this. So again, I'm assuming another one of Anthony Perkins' kids. I'm assuming. So don't.
I'd probably lean towards not.
Okay, or not. So
I don't know. I don't know for a fact. It's just my guess, my gut.
He was credited as a student. So. Mm-hmm. But I loved the score in this. It gave that atmosphere even more of a vibe, and that ties into my number 2 favorite thing is, as we mentioned, the atmosphere, just the overall feel of this thing, man. It felt like so. And here's the thing, I can mention the atmosphere of it a million times till I'm red in the face, but this is my explanation on this. I didn't know this movie took place in the 90s till we were well into this thing. I had no idea when this was all happening. I wasn't even thinking about, is this in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? Did this happen yesterday? Until they started talking about dates actually on the screen. So the whole atmosphere just brought me into the now with it, although I guess it takes place in the early 90s.
Oh, you might be right. It might be his kid.
Okay.
Elvis Perkins was a composer, and yes, Longlegs he's credited for.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
So yeah, I didn't even know when this movie was. The atmosphere and the actual vibe just sucked me in so much. And the number 1 thing is it's a tie between Alicia Witt and Nicolas Cage. They were both great. Yeah,
well, probably could just say the acting in general of the 4. Well, yeah. You didn't like Lee Hart.
No, I liked her. I liked her. I don't agree with the total approach with the character. But she was fine.
The acting was phenomenal.
They were going for a subdued character, and she did fine by that. But if you look at some of her other stuff, especially It Follows, she's capable of so much more. So, but yeah, what do you grade this thing?
Oh man, it's really fucking good. So good, I forgot what I didn't like about it. There was something. There was something. I think a lot of the same problems you had with it, especially the doll thing. If we could have got like maybe even 1-2 minute scene, that would tell you some kind of backstory on that.
Yeah,
that would have like I said, it would jump at a whole letter grade for me. So I'm gonna go with a B. I think it would have been an A if not for that.
Exactly, my grade is a B on this thing. I think that's the same grade that I gave Maxine, but I prefer this one by the ever so slight margin. A Quiet Place Day 1 though.
Still number 1?
Still my number 1 for 2024.
I gotta see it then. There's if it's that much better than these two, I gotta see it either to see why you like it so much and argue with you on here about it, or to agree with you. We'll see.
There's no chance you won't like it.
Right.
Now you might not love it. I mean, even JP even said he really, really liked it. So
yeah.
And that's more like a big studio movie isn't really his thing.
No.
But he really, really liked it. I remember he told me that. So
right on. All right. So we've been yammering for almost 2 hours now.
Well, and again though, I go back to that real quick. I didn't like it so much more than the other two. I gave it a B+.
Right on.
So there's no way yet.
No. All right, but no, I liked them both a whole bunch. This weekend I got to go see Twisters 2, the second Twisters thing. I don't know how excited I am about that.
Niece went to a sneak preview tonight.
What's that?
My niece went to a sneak preview of that tonight.
Yeah, I was going to. This is too late for me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get out of here because I got to use the bathroom really, really bad. But you got anything you wanted to add before I hit this end stream button?
There goes the neighborhood.